A man who is stupid doesn't always look stupid. When he talks, he shows it. It only takes one line. It's not because he's loud, but because he isn't careful. He gives himself away by saying things that seem normal, but show that he is weak, afraid, and has failed. He believes he is telling the truth or real. His real actions, however, show that he is stuck by making excuses and avoiding progress. This was clear to the Stoics. It was Marcus Aurelius who said, "What you think about makes your mind what it is, but what you say shows who is really in charge." Most guys think it's strength when it's really softness. This video breaks down 6 phrases that show right away what a stupid man is saying. You need to stop saying any of them right now before they destroy everything you've worked on. Number 1, that's just how I am. This is the song of people who are mentally weak. That phrase is so common and lightly used in everyday speech, but it's so dangerous that you should never use it again. It's not safe to say that's just how I am. It's not a declaration of who you are. It's a subtle but powerful way to hurt yourself. A confession of loss posed as acceptance of who you are. Men do it when they no longer want to grow, when they are fed up with being responsible. If they'd rather not feel the pain of duty, they want to feel safe in their flaws. It's been said before, I have trouble handling money. It's not my fault. I'm just mad. I don't like getting up early. I just don't follow through. That's right. I do not wish to alter. It sounds like being honest. It's not though. It's a lack of brain effort. It's being emotionally weak. It's the soft, comforting voice of mediocrity squeezing your promise to death. Now think about the Stoics. These were men who became strong through hardship and thought. Marcus Aurelius led the Roman Empire through a plague, a betrayal, a war, and his own death. He had every reason to give up. But he didn't say, "That's just how I am." Instead, he pushed himself every day in his private thought. He told himself, "If it's bearable, then bear it. Don't be negative. I'm just tired." Wasn't what he said. He didn't say, "I'm just too busy." He trained his mind to be more powerful than his feelings and to decide what to do. Take a look at your own life. In reality, you give up your power every time you say, "That's just how I am." You're giving up the key to your freedom and locking yourself into a fixed personality. "This is my ceiling," you say. "I have no plans to rise above it." That saying makes your weakness your strength. When weakness becomes who you are, you protect it instead of getting rid of it. When people question it, you defend it. You hang out with people who put up with it, and you start to hate anything or anyone that tries to make you sharper. Why? Because he didn't base his personality on being limited. First, tell yourself what you'd be, and then do what you need to do. He told her, the Stoics said that figure out who you want to be, then do things that help you become that person. Today, men say things like, "I'm just built this way." Not at all. You're not fully formed yet. You look like a building site. There will be nothing to live in if you don't build. "That's just how I am" is a very dangerous way of thinking because it makes sense. It might even be said in terms of treatment or popular psychology. I'm only being myself. No, you're not moving forward. Being truly authentic isn't about covering up your scars. It's about getting better, and getting better takes work. That word changes your life in the following ways. It makes your relationships worse. If your partner asks you to change and you say, "That's just how I am," you're telling them that your wants don't matter. You're telling them you're done getting better. You're no longer mature. It hurts your job. People who work for you don't care how you've been. They want you to grow and learn. When they say "that's just how I am," doesn't change, stops making money, it makes you lose your mind for the reason that your mind believes you when you tell it that you can't change. Your self-respect goes down, your confidence goes away. In the end, you turn into the image you swore you'd never be. Now compare that to the Stoic goal, which is to get better every day. Learn how to live as long as you live. Seneca said that doesn't mean stop reading after a few books. That means you never give up. You never tell yourself that you're perfect the way you are. You promise to die stronger, calmer, and more useful than you were the day before. What do you say instead of that? "Just how I am. How I am. That's how I've been, but not who I have to be," you say. Or "I'm still not done." Or even better, "I am being built. Take a look at what I built," because that's how a warrior thinks. That sounds like a man who is on fire inside and has a clear head. That's the language of someone who doesn't want to explain their weakness but rather destroy it. Being soft in the way you talk to yourself is not okay. It's going to be hard enough in the world. Your words should protect you, not give you an excuse. Now here's your order. Get rid of the word. Not this week. Not after you make another mistake. Right now, every time it tries to get in, crush it. Change it to discipline. Change it to responsibility. Put on the voice of the man you are becoming instead. A word that makes people not responsible as soon as it's said. It's not to protect the truth, but to protect the ego. To say "it's not my fault." Men who would rather stay victims than become winners say it. This is what men mean when they say it. "I'm not in charge of my life." He's giving up his power to his past, other people, luck, the system, or anything else that will keep him from taking charge. But this way of thought is not okay with Stoicism. The Stoics thought that you could not change what happened, but you could change how you responded to it all the time. That's where your real strength comes from. Seneca was in exile, had political foes, and was about to be killed by Nero. He wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." That's not just beautiful writing, it's a plan. The bumps in life are not your enemy. You own this forge. You'll never learn to handle the heat, or you'll spend your life blaming the fire. Now think about how often guys today say things like, "My boss doesn't like me, so I got fired. They're biased, so I didn't get the promotion. My ex messed up my life. The way I was raised makes me act this way." It's like a never-ending show of blame. And every time they say these things, men get smaller. He makes his world smaller. The thing that could change his life is power, but he cuts himself off from it. Ownership. Epictetus taught an extreme way to be in charge of yourself. He said, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you deal with it." That short line kills blame and makes strength grow. The Stoic person doesn't ask, "Who is to blame?" He inquires, "What shall I do now?" Because the truth is, fault has to do with the past. Being responsible? That's about the future. When you look for fault, you see what can't be fixed. When you focus on what you need to do, you can see what can be built. Even if something isn't your fault, like how your father left you, the betrayal you didn't see coming, the bad workplace or the broken system, you still have one unwavering freedom: how you react. You don't need to lie and act like everything is okay. No, that's not Stoicism. Stoicism is facing truth straight on, without illusions or excuses. The world is unfair. Yes, people will lie to you, yes. Life will hurt you. That's true. The bigger man, on the other hand, doesn't lean on unfairness. It's fuel for him. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius said, "The thing that stops action moves action forward. What gets in the way becomes the way. If you put something in your way, it becomes your road. Taking on the load gives you respect, even if you didn't cause it." It will change your life to think like this. You are responsible for everything, not because you made it happen, but because you can handle it. You're strong. That way of thinking makes you impossible to blame, which is a rare and valuable thing. Not because bad things don't happen, but because you don't waste time being angry. You begin to ask better questions. What am I going to do? What am I supposed to do with this? What do I need to do in this situation? You are now moving. You're now scary. You're no longer just a man. You're a force. But this road is rough because it's fun to blame. People like the attention they get when they blame. Being in charge doesn't get any of that. Being responsible is lonely. It's not worth it in terms of social rewards. But there's a lot of power there in being honest. If your life isn't going the way you want, fighting about who's to blame won't help. You're here. This is where the battle is. Now is the time. Take responsibility for it. Take charge of it. Fix what you didn't break. Correct issues you didn't cause. In this case, leaders do it. That's what dads do. Men who are Stoics act that way. Seneca also said, "No one is crushed by bad luck unless he has first been fooled by good luck." When things are going well, don't think that they will always be that way. Don't whine about fairness when it doesn't happen, which it won't. Do your best. Take responsibility for the chaos. It will make you stronger, smarter, and better. That's where real power comes in. When you stop saying "it's not my fault," you become a threat to people who are weak. It starts to affect the people around you. You won't get caught up in their mess. You won't accept lies. You'll start expecting results from yourself, just like you do from everyone else. So if you've ever said, "It's not my fault," stop now. Now is the time to stop blaming others, acting like victims, or shrinking. This is the last time it can be used. Take charge now. Be strong and stand firm when you get hit. It's not just Stoics who think that way. That's what a man does. Number 3, I already know that once this phrase is said, growth stops right there. I know that already. The sound is safe. It sounds sure of itself. That being said, it's really poison because as soon as you say it, growth stops. At this level, you've locked yourself in a cage. The worst part is that you can't see how far you still need to go. This saying is not from a wise person. It's your ego speaking. Fear is what makes them do it, not skill. Fear that you may have reached a standstill. Fear that someone might be ahead of you. You don't want to be humble and listen again. So you put up a mental wall and say, "I already know that." It's not smart. It's haughty. That's also why most guys stay stuck. Epictetus told us about this mental trap almost 2,000 years ago. You can't learn what you think you already know, he said. There is no softer way to say that. It is a law. You stop changing when you think you've reached your goal. There is no more way to gain understanding. Not because you lost your knowledge, but because your ego wouldn't let it in. I will show you the difference between a weak person and a Stoic. I've heard this before, the weak man says. The Stoic asks, "How can I understand this better?" I know that, the weak man says. He or she asks, but am I living it? It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca said, a lot of that waste comes from thinking we know things we haven't even started to practice. These kinds of thoughts, the know-it-all mindset, are very dangerous these days. We have become information addicts. We can get podcasts, audiobooks, summaries, highlight clips, quotes, and quick tips at any time, and we mix that up with change. Discipline doesn't come from reading a book about it. You are not stoic just because you listen to a show about it. Just because you hear a great idea once doesn't mean you'll always have it. It means you've been around it. It didn't change you. It takes time for that to happen. Work on it over and over. Brace pain. Be humble. And be ready to say every day, I may have heard this, but I haven't mastered it. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Bruce Lee once said, take that in. Mastery is dull. It keeps happening. It's on purpose. It's true though. You can't get it by gathering thoughts. For it to become part of your blood, you have to live the same truth over and over again. The person who always says, I already know that, skips this step. He looks for new things all the time. A new rush of dopamine, a different hack, something new. But every time he gives up depth for something new, he makes his base weak. This is why Stoicism is both harsh and lovely, because it doesn't look for something new. It makes the endless better. It's not true that Marcus Aurelius wrote 500 different philosophical thoughts. He wrote the same lessons to himself over and over because he knew that the mind forgets what it doesn't do often. Stick to it. Handle point of view. Thank you. No attachment. You don't just hear these things once and move on. These are muscle groups, and muscles get weaker when they don't have any pressure. It's not enough to know things. Over and over again is what makes you strong. A man who knows this will never say, I already know that. He leans in instead. He pays more attention. He gets ready for battle by practicing the same moves over and over again. 10 times through, he reads the same theory and gets 10 different ideas from it. He thinks about the same fact over and over again until it changes the way he moves, talks, breathes, and thinks. He does this because he knows that the lesson you need the most is usually the one you want to avoid. What should we do with this truth? We take ourselves seriously. We're going back to the beginning. We get rid of the need for new things all the time. We pick depth over noise. That's the start of mastery. Now is the time to check yourself. Have you really thought about what you've heard? Or are you hiding behind the idea that you know something? Stop thinking, I already know that, the next time it comes to you. Then ask yourself, have I mastered it? Get back to work if the answer is no. Since the wise man doesn't always know the most, that's the person who always learns new things. It's too late for me. Men will tell themselves this lie over and over again because it makes them feel good. It's too late now. It's not loud. It's just quiet. It doesn't come with drama or anger. It has a sigh to it. A shrug, a sad look at yourself in the mirror. It sounds like a man giving up without even trying. I'm too old to start over is said in different ways. I won't do it now if I didn't do it in my 20s. Now it's too late for me. I missed my chance. All of those thoughts are lies. A lie that looks like knowledge. Something that sounds like a lie but is still a lie. And the man who believes it has already started to go bad inside. I have something important to tell you. As soon as you say it's too late, you stop living and start dying. The reason for this is that line is not true. It's caused by fear. A fear of work. Don't want to look stupid. Fear of looking bad in front of other people. Fear of having to face the years you lost. So instead of taking charge of your time, you bury yourself in security. You can't judge a man by when he starts. How good he is judged by how well he starts. The strict Stoic in Rome, Co the Younger, spoke out against Julius Caesar, even though the rest of the Senate bowed. It wasn't because he thought he would win, but it was the right thing to do. He didn't look at the time. It's too late. The tides have turned. He didn't say a refusal. It sounds like strength, but most of the time it is neither. It's a mask, a bet, because a man who says this line over and over again is probably trying to convince himself. Those people, that's not confidence. It's hidden fear of being hurt. They knew the difference too. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own, wrote Marcus Aurelius in his Meditation. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome and the most powerful person in the world. This wasn't a problem. It was a mess. Men say they don't care what other people think. But why? They do. And the truth makes them feel bad. So they go to the other side instead of facing it. They are known as lone wolves. So they say no one's view is important. They make a very loud, I don't care sound. However, the wise man does not yell that he does not care. He doesn't. And the way he moves shows it. The Stoic view is that you weren't born to live for what other people think. But you also weren't born to spit on them either. Not getting numb is not the point. The goal is to stop being scared. There is a difference. A man who doesn't really worry about being judged is quiet. He pays attention when people talk. He thinks about what they say like a philosopher. He thinks about what they say without agreeing with them. He doesn't do anything because his mental compass is already set. You want that kind of power, not to act like you don't care, but to care in the right way. To care for you in a way that sets you free, not chains you down. Most guys get stoic indifference wrong. They believe it means getting cold, separate, locked up. Marcus Aurelius didn't hate people though. He led them, that's right. He cried when his friends died. He loved deeply, but he was strict about it. He wasn't looking for praise, and he wasn't afraid of being blamed. He took the third road, which was the path of the Stoics, where the things you do are in line with ethics, instead of validation. Saying, I don't care what other people think is a bit cocky. Since you're still putting other people's ideas first, even though you're reacting against them, you're still ruled by their approval though. Whether you want it or don't want it, you can find freedom somewhere else. It's in a new phrase. I care about the truth, not fame. That's what a man with roots says. He's open to comments because he knows that criticism can lead to gold. You can tell him he's wrong and he won't go crazy. It doesn't break him when people turn him down. He's not proud when he's praised, though, because he doesn't serve a lot of people. He's good for character. To deal with it, they act like they don't care. But the truth is that the most dangerous man is the one who cares, but not personally. It's okay. He figures it out. He changes. He doesn't bow though. He thinks about who said you're not enough. If someone says it to him, he asks, is there truth? He gets better. Is it noise? He throws it away. He doesn't change his mind either way. Stoic strength like that. And let's be honest, we all care a little about what other people think. That's not being weak. That's the truth. Care is not what's dangerous. Being driven by it is dangerous. When views make you who you are, you become weak. You feel like a god after one praise. One insult will break you down into dust. That is not a way to live. Instead, let yourself be the norm. Ask yourself, did I do the right thing?
Did I get in trouble? Was what I said true? Did I strive for greatness no matter who saw? That shows your score.
It's usually a man who says, I don't care what people think, to show off. You should be afraid of the man who doesn't say anything and just keeps building. Seneca said, a man should stand straight, not be held straight. To put it another way, don't hold yourself together by what other people think. Hold yourself together with your back. If you have ever said, I don't care what they think, stop and think about it. Why did I say that? Was it strength or was it pride? Wait, you write the line. You talk to your mom. Kindness is something you do. You do what you say you'll do. You are helped. Something real. That is the truth. Steps. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became a Stoic philosopher, didn't wait for life to give him a goal. Do not explain your philosophy, he said. Embody it. That's the move. You don't argue about how sad you are. You move with virtue, with sweat, with giving up, even if it doesn't seem important, even more so when it seems useless, because that's when your soul is being made. Life is long if you know how to use it, said Seneca. If you scroll, no, not if you pout. If you hide, no, if you use it. When you turn what's the point on its head, it turns into a weapon. Because you can change it from hopelessness to direct. Ask yourself, why am I going through this pain? What's the answer? To make me better. Why is this thing in the way? To build up your stamina. What is the point of this broken heart? To grow my soul. What is the point of my life? To turn into a person I would admire. See, it's not always clear what the point is. There are times when you are the point. You turn into the point. You turn into the kind of person who brings meaning into every room. What you do each and every day. People will turn to you when they have that question because they see how you live and get the answer from you. Let's be honest, we all have those times. We're all strong though. The place where the weight feels heavy and the results seem small, where nobody cares about anything. However, that's where most people fold. And if you want to be different from the noise, the crowd, and the weak, you have to act even when it doesn't seem like it has any point. Because that's where great people are born. When you build night after night, when you always do the right thing, even when no one is looking, when you make your life's goal instead of an excuse, that's the point. If someone tells you to follow your passion, don't fall for it. Not at all. Guide your goal. Get it done. Do not look for dopamine. Try to be disciplined. Do your job and chase it. No one who has ever built something great has never asked themselves, what's the point? The people who became heroes, on the other hand, answered with what they did. When Marcus Aurelius lost his wife, Rome was at war, and the empire was plagued by sickness, he still got up and wrote in his book. He still showed kindness. He was still a wise leader. Why? That was the point. So when you feel numb, stuck, or small, and you ask in a whisper, what's the point? Forget about it. Get up. Do something tough. Do something good. Do a good thing, because doing something is the answer. One day, when someone else asks that question in the dark, they'll